we are going to make yet another video starting with a new lesson today. Till now we have completed 3 chapters, that is management, principle of management, business environment and planning, the first function. The next function of management, that is organizing, we shall be taking up today. Before dealing with the meaning of organizing, I would like to just hint you out that in the principle of management that we have studied, the 3 principles that has a relevancy in this chapter is division of work, then we have the order, and furthermore we would see. First of all, let us take up the meaning of organizing. We know that objective of any organization is the result or is the purpose for which a plan is being drafted, a different sets of action is being decided, alternative courses different of taking out different activities are being decided in advance. Now the next step in the process of management is about hiring of those resources or allocating those resources according to their competence, so that the different activities that have been decided or that has been planned, that shall becomes a reality. So what we find in organizing, basically what we do, keeping the objective in mind, the plan in hand, the action that is to be taken, it is divided into various smaller activities, or it is in groups, and then each group is given a task according to their competence. Then the resources are allocated, and commensurate with the allocation of the resources, a relationship, a bond is being defined, that what they are doing, what is the commonality in them for the action which each of them is contributing towards. So defining the common reason for their action, proper responsibility and authority is defined and entrusted with the view that the action they are to take should result in the achievement of the objectives. So, simply defining organizing, organizing is grouping of the various activities in an organization that is to take place. And then why we are divide this group of activities and then group it? Because one individual cannot be a master of all the functions. So therefore, activities of similar nature are grouped and they are allocated according to the competence, eligibility of the resources. Resources are allocated for each work. And then we define that what is the relationship, why each group is contributing. We give them the authority and which define the scope of their authority and relationship. So, defining a relationship over here, all this action takes place with the view that each of the group contributes for an achievement of specific goal. Now let us take an example. Now suppose that a manager decide that he wants to earn 25% profit of the total sale in the business of hardware, by selling hardware product into a specific region. Let us talk about southern region of India. Now what he will do, considering this objective, the number of activities, first of all, it has to be identified, and then depending upon the nature or the commonness, the number of activities that are to be taken out to achieve that, they are being grouped, and each group is entrusted to different individuals according to their competence. Resources is allocated to them, proper authority is given to them, their responsibility is defined so that they do not interfere into the sphere and scope of others. Each contributes into their job, and commonly they strive towards the achievement of the specific goal, that is achievement of the profit margin of 25% on the sales. So what we find, that basically it draws up a framework within which all the activities of an organization has to be carried out, and within that framework we match the resources according to the activities, according to the work that is to be taking place. So coming to the next, here we match the people and other resources for the activities that is required for achievement of the goals. Whatever goals we have in mind, to achieve that goals, we have to match the people and resources. Then this matching takes place only by the activity of organizing. When we group them together, when we group the activities that is to be performed by different groups, we basically create a structure within which each individual or each group has to perform. So this structure is necessary for conducting the activities so that the goals are attained, and it must ensure that optimum utilization of resources. Optimum utilization of resources, because it is allocation of the resources according to the activities that is required. So what we find, there is no overlapping of activities, no unnecessary activities is being taking place. So this organizing is basically concerned with grouping of various activities. Only those necessary activities that are to take place, unnecessary activities are done away with. And then for the necessary activities, the resources that are required, those resources are matched, they are allocated, and along with that, each group will be given commensurate authority to carry out their work and responsibility, so that they know what is the extent of their operation. They should not encroach upon the area or the field of others. So therefore, responsibility is defined and authority is given, it is entrusted, with the view that each of them contribute towards the achievement of specific goal. So basically what we find over here, that planning, it is basically, organizing is basically the plan into action. The plan that an organization has decided, we put the plan into action. I have given you this example, that suppose we have the objective of 25% profit earning in trading in hardware. Then These are the various activities that we would be taking a place. We divide the activities and they group it. Like in sales, then we need to sell, so selling activities there. We need to procure the supplies for sale. Then we need to store those supplies that are to be sold, and then also concerned about their transportation or distribution to the various places or various spots of distribution. Now in sales, we have to decide these various activity within sale. There are sub groups of activities, like if we have to decide about the quantum of sale, then we must take into account that what should be the way of promotion so that our sales could be enhanced and that ensure the objective of earning 25% profit. Similarly, price is an important consideration. The price of the product should be such that it should be readily accepted in the market, and then once a product is accepted, we must have a proper channel of distribution so that the goods can be easily accessed by the customer in a market. So what we find that these activities relating to one particular job, they are put into one category. So this is basically grouping of the activities, and then the resource allocation so that the objectives are achieved. If we see into detail, what we find that this functions of organizing, it regulates. There is no duplication of work. The actions of each group is defined. There is no duplication of work. No unnecessary activities taking place. As such, it results into efficiency, and moreover, there is simplification of the work. The work gets simplified when a work is divided into various activities. So what we find that this is the benefit. It regulates the behavior of the people as well. They know that what is expected from them, what they are going to contribute to, and this discipline that is ensured by the process of organizing, it helps in the achievement of the common purpose towards which each group is striving. So this is not only about deciding only a function of planning, not only a function of management, but it is indeed a great contribution of management to the business, and we can say it is this stage where we find the ideal or the theory into practice. That is what we have decided, it takes a shape into here, into this sphere, that is in the sphere of organizing. The planning gets converted into action. So this is all about the meaning of planning and process. Now next we shall move to when we have decided that it is a process of grouping activities. So what basically a manager or an organization do in the functions of organizing. But before that, let us point out one thing, that organizing is such an important functions that it results in creation of an organization structure. I have written here that creation of an organization structure in such a way that this structure depicts that how the various tasks and activities are grouped. This structure provides how and this various tasks are grouped, that is according to the group of people, according to their competence, and then these activities, after being grouped, they are they are related, that is through the authority responsibility relationship, by defining their relationship or the sphere of their authority. To define it more accurately, I remember over here a definition that is given by L.A. Allen, that is Louis Allen, who said that organizing is a process of identifying and grouping. First of all, it identifies. Now this definition point out to the entire process of organizing. It says that organizing is a process of identifying and grouping the work that is to be performed in an organization, and then those work are to be grouped. Those work are to be grouped and defined, and then we delegate the authority. Responsibility is defined, and we establish or we link each group with another, who is superior, who is senior, or who has to be accountable for their work to whom. This all we define it in an organizing process, and then we establish this relationship to ensure that each of them contribute towards the achievement of organizational goal. Now we shall be proceeding with the various stages of organizing. Now we shall proceed with the process or the steps that are involved in the process of organizing. The first step in organizing of activities is division of work. This is also the first principle of management. Now the division of work is concerned with dividing the work as per plan into some manageable specific units, identified units. Why the work is divided? The simple reason that an individual cannot be a competent person to handle all the job. So the work that involve various activities, and considering the human limitation of not being an expert or adept in handling all the activities, the work is divided into some common basis, some manageable specific units, and then on some logical criteria, competence, these work is allocated to the different groups of people according to their competence. And when we allocate them, the purpose is we define what type of action is necessitated from each group, what they are expected to do. It is not that all the group will perform the same function, but rather through their work, through their activities, they would contribute towards the objective that has been planned. So this division of work leads to simplification of the work. The work gets simplified into small activities. This also avoid any duplication of the work. There is no duplication of work. So the first process of organizing is division of work, where we divide the work into specific manageable activities. The entire work is dividable into manageable activities. Take an example. If we are talking about product promotion in an organization, then there could be various methods of product promotion. Somebody is looking about advertising, somebody about sales promotion, then there are other methods of sales promotions. So this activities that is subdivided, they are divided on the basis of some logical criteria so that the works get simplified. This is the first principle of management, and in conformity with the principle of management, to simplify the work, it should lead to specialization, that only that work should be allocated to a particular group in which they excel. So this leads to specialization. There is no duplication of work, and further the work get simplified. So this is the first step in organizing process, that is division of work. Now coming to the second one, that is departmentation, or that is grouping of the activities. The work of similar nature, they are being grouped into a larger unit. We may form a department, a division, a section on the basis of some common activities that is being performed by different individuals in a group. So that leads to formation of department, or rather this grouping of activities can also be said to be departmentation, or it is a process where a specialized function is entrusted to different groups according to their competence. So grouping takes place on the basis of competence, leads to specialization, and this ensure when we group the activities, each of the group, they know that they have to work, what is their expertise, what is expected of them, what they are supposed to contribute, and why they are working, to what they should contribute. So there is better coordination, and it elicits the unity of efforts. The effort of different groups is unified towards the achievement of the objective. And moreover, this grouping of activities or departmentation, when we divide this group, there are various basics of dividing. For example, in an organization, the activities may be divided on the basis of the functions, like production, like marketing, like sales, like distribution. So there are different functions. So the first classification or first basis of departmentation or grouping is functional. It may be on the basis of function, or it may be relating to production. The types of goods that is being produced, what type of goods. So on the basis of the types of good that is being produced, consumer good, industrial goods. So depending upon that, we can classify the unit or the activities on the basis of the function that they are carrying out, the production activities they are carrying out. So it is with the activities. Then we can also group the activities on the basis of territory, like division. Some of the division, like the Eastern Division, the Southern Division, and each division or on the basis of some territories where they are located and what they specialize into. So division or departmentation is basically grouping of the activities on this basis, and for the purpose of making a larger group so that on the basis of providing a unifying effort, we group them into a manageable common group, and it helps us in better coordinations. This is the second function of. So now the third step in the organizing process is assignment of duties. Now we know that organizing is basically concerned with grouping of activities that are necessary for the achievement of objectives. But before those activities takes place, a formal structure is created within which the different individuals are allocated those activities according to their competence, and then the scope of their authority is defined. So this stage is basically concerned with allocation of duties to the individuals according to their competence. When we assign a duty after grouping, that is, group of activities is called a job. So this job, when we assign it, we define what the job holder or the person who is holding a position on a job, what he is expected to do. We define what is his authority, what type of command he can issue, what type of activity he can get done or he is concerned with. So the step of assignment of duties necessarily concerned with grouping of the activities in a job, and then we define the work that is concerned with a job. What type of work is to be carried out on a particular position? If we have given a marketing manager, so what is the work of a marketing manager? We must decide it, and then it is also to be decided what is the necessary authority or that he should use to get his work done. So defining the work of each job, that is authority. For doing a work, what should be the necessary authority that he could use? He cannot exceed the authority that is required for doing his work. And then we allocate the duties as per the competence, that is the necessary qualification, age limit, the necessary experience. All this is taken into account before we assign the duties or the activities to a particular individual in a group. So this is about assignment of duties. These are the points that we have to take into account when we assign a job to an individual in a group. And then the last step in organizing is establishing reporting relationship. Now, establishing reporting relationship is about defining the accountability of an individual towards a superior. That an individual should be held accountable for his works to a senior, to his superior. Now this necessary call for establishing, or this results in establishing a hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure means the structure defining the power and authority of an individual. So this structure defines that an individual is answerable to whom, or to whom he should report. This is about establishing reporting relationship, that is creating a structure and hierarchy of authority and responsibility relationship. Now this reporting relationship do result in promoting coordination among the various departments. So what happens? Each department coordinate with or with others towards the achievement of organizational goal. When we have defined an structure, now within that structure, each department that is performing, they coordinate towards the common purpose or towards the achievement of common purpose. So this is all we had in this preliminary discussion relating to organizing. We shall continue further.